Hi guys, I am Pratik from LWP Labs. So I'm going to be talking about now Azure database security features. So we have covered up most of the Azure SQL database topics. Now I want to talk about something that's important and widely known as Azure security. So we know now that security plays a vital role in most of our private, or you can also mean in our office or in our real life usage as well. So when we talk about Azure database security, we're talking about different kind of tools. We're talking about different practices that is designed to protect your databases in the cloud. So we look at some of the key elements that's available in our database, Azure database. So that is, we have network security, we have access management, we have threat protection, we have information protection, and we have customers' data. So I want to talk about first network security. So when we talk about network security, what are we exactly talking about? So we're talking about how our database will be isolated from others and how it is only accessible to the trusted users, so that it has a strong defense around it. So just imagine there's a strong circle around your, or a base layer of your security is there from the outside environment. So that's how there is a strong defense against unauthorized access. And when we talk about the different topics that comes under network security, we're talking about virtual network integration, that is VNet. So this is an important term under Azure database security. We're talking about how the VNet, with this VNet, we can isolate our databases from our public networks, and also we can have control access to only the trusted sources, and also make sure the database is only shielded from and has shielded from unauthorized access and is accessible only within the private networks. Then we're talking about firewall rules. So what is firewall rules? So we're talking how Azure will allow to set firewall rules for a particular IP addresses that is allowed to access the database. And there is no, you can also restrict access to like specific trusted IP addresses as well. Now we'll also talk about private link. So for even more secure connection, we're talking about Azure's new feature called as private link. So this will allow to connect your database via a secure network link, so by through the public internet as well. And finally, we're talking about encryption in transit. So Azure will automatically encrypt the data in transit using the features that's already available to protect your data. So once it moves to your application and your database as well. Now we look into access management. So what is access management? So Azure access management is nothing but how secure it has control over who will have access by resources by using RBAC. So that is role-based access control, Azure Active Directory, managed identities, and conditional policies. So what it means is to have appropriate permissions and security features or security practices. So we're talking about RBAC. So RBAC is nothing but role-based access control. So those who have control to the particular Azure resources using roles. It can be owner, contributor, reader, some of those features. We're talking about Azure Active Directory is nothing but our centralized identity management and authentication by using some features like single sign-on or multi-factor authentication to improve security. We're talking about managed identity, so it allows Azure resources to authenticate without needing credentials in our code that's written, and also to improve security as well. And this is mainly used for virtual machines and our app services. And lastly, we're talking about conditional access policies. So conditional access policies make sure to has accesses within the Azure resources, such as requiring the multi-factor authentication for users to log in from different locations as well. And now talk about threat protection. So what is threat protection? So it will help to detect, prevent, and respond to security threats using SQL threat detection, advanced threat protection, and also many other features as well. So we look into it. We're talking about SQL threat detection. So it will monitor the database for the behavior or different kind of behavior that a particular will use, and also the different kind of vulnerabilities, I can say. Advanced threat protection. So what is advanced threat protection? So it can detect and alert on potential threats, so including unusual or suspicious activities like we can talk about SQL injection. We can talk about data exfiltration. So some of those are ATP. We can talk about Azure Secure Center. So what does Azure Security Center mean? So Azure Security Center will continuously monitor for threats across your Azure resources. Finally, we're talking about vulnerability assessment. So vulnerability assessment will scan your database, automatically scan. So what we mean by automatically scan is by missing patches or updates or misconfigurations as well. Now we have information protection. So it will what it does, it will basically it will help you, I can say, to classify or label and protect your data from sensitivity, so across your organization. So we're talking about data classification and labeling. So when we talk about this, we're talking about how classification and labeling data is based on the sensitivity. So we're talking about either confidential or internal levels. So we are talking about encryption. So when we talk about encryption, we're talking about both at rest. So what we'll talk about in the future class as well. So we're talking about data at rest and as well as data in transit. We have rights management. So this will apply only to some usage restriction. So to protect your data even after your sharing of your resources, and also Azure rights management feature that allows to have data access control outside our organization, and data loss prevention. So what it does, it will prevent the accidental exposure or sharing of your sensitive information. Finally, we have customers' data. So when we talk about customers' data, it's nothing but your data, your Azure portal. So that's owned by the customer with privacy, compliance, and security, which is ensured by Microsoft. We have data, privacy, and ownership. So customers will retain full ownership of their data that is stored in our Azure. We have compliance with the global standards. So Azure will make sure it meets the particular data protection regulations. Data protection and security. So encryption, that is, as I said, at rest and as well as in transit, which can protect your data from unauthorized access. Finally, we have data residency and sovereignty. So when we talk about data residency and sovereignty, talking about how Azure provides region-specific data storage options, which will enable customers to choose where their data is stored. So that is all about the intro for, I can say, introduction for Azure database security. Thank you. Welcome to LWP Labs. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to view free Azure DevOps live classes. And for more videos like this, please contact the number shown in the description. Happy learning!